وَيَكْشِفُ الْحِجَابِ. The veil that covers between us and Allah will be lifted. فَيَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى اللَّهِ. Then they will see Allah. فَمَا مِنْ شَيْءٍ أُعْطُوهُ أَحَبَّ إِلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّظَرِ إِلَيْهِ. Nothing that they ever experienced before that will be greater for them than the experience of seeing, being in the company. The Prophet ﷺ, he used to ask Allah, "Oh Allah, I ask you to grant me the shawq, the desire and the longing to meet you." In all his years in this world, what was most exciting for the Prophet ﷺ is the day he passed away. Because the day he passed away, the last words that he said was, "Ila al-rafiq al-a'la." I don't care that I'm going to be with my favorite companion. And he returned to his favorite companion. In this world we feel a sense of comfort, a sense of solace, a sense of assurance, a sense of trust, a sense of peace when we just think of Allah. Imagine how we will feel when we get to see Allah. The Prophet ﷺ was sitting with his companions one day and he pointed to the moon, the full moon. And he said, "Innakum satarawna rabbakum yawm al-qiyamah." You guys are going to see Allah on the day of judgment. Just like you see the full moon in this dark night. It is the moment that all of us look forward to. The moment all of us are waiting for is to be in the company of Allah subhanahu. But with all this talk of Jannah and all this talk of paradise and all this talk of enjoyment and food and company, when asked the question, how on earth are we going to get there? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أَمْ حَسِبَتُمْ أَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ وَلَمَّا يَأْتِكُمْ مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ خَلَوْا مِن قَبْلِكُمْ. Do you think you are going to get a free pass to Jannah? And you are not going to go through what people before you had to go through? مَسَّتْهُمُ الْبَأْسَاءُ وَالضَّرَّاءُ وَزُلْزِلُوا. They went through difficulties and trials and they were shook. وَزُلْزِلُوا حَتَّى يَقُولَ الرَّسُولُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ مَتَى نَصْرُ اللَّهِ. They were shook until even the prophets themselves said, when is Allah going to help us? أَلَا إِنَّ نَصْرَ اللَّهِ قَرِيبٌ. Don't worry, the victory of Allah is. The Prophet ﷺ informs us, one day he sat with his companions and he drew a line in the sand. And he drew many squiggly lines around that line. He said, this straight line that I drew, هذا صراط الله المستقيم. That's the straight path. And you see all these squiggly lines I drew? These are the other paths that will take you to Jannah. حُفِيَتِ النَّارُ بِالشَّهَوَاتِ وَحُفِيَتِ الْجَنَّةُ بِالْمَكَارِهِ. The path to paradise is surrounded with tests, and the path to the hellfire is surrounded with easy temptations. How are we going to get there? Sometimes we think maybe it's my deeds, maybe my effort, maybe it's my qiyamul layl. What's going to get me to paradise? The truth is, the only thing that will get us to paradise is the mercy of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ informed us, لَن يُدْخِلَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْجَنَّةَ عَمَلُهُ. None of you will enter Jannah based purely on your actions. The Sahaba said, hold on a second. Whoa. All this time you said, those who believe and do good deeds, believe and do good deeds, believe it. Now you're saying that good deeds are not going to take us to paradise? What's going on? He said, They said, what about you? Are you going to get into paradise based on your actions? He said, Wala ana, not even me. Illa an yataghammadani Allahu bi rahmatih. The only way to get to Jannah is for Allah to shower you with His mercy. That's it. Our deeds, they mean nothing. They only mean something because of His mercy. Our actions, our difficulties, our moments, all we do through them is we hope that Allah will shower us with His mercy and make us of those who enter paradise. One day the Prophet ﷺ was sitting in a gathering and he asked his companions, who of you went to a janazah, a funeral prayer today? One man put his hand up. He said, which of you visited a sick person today? One man put his hand up. Which of you prayed the night prayer? One man put his hand up. And he kept asking questions and one man kept putting his hand up. He says, paradise has 8 doors. But this man will get to enter from any door he wants. That man was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. May Allah make all of us of those who can enter paradise from any door that they wish. And the way to do that is to switch up your good deeds. To give charity to an orphan. And then to pray the night prayer. And then to show kindness to your parents. And then to memorize a page of the Quran. And then to go and work hard. To look after your children. To spend time and play with them. All of these are acts of worship. But at the end of all of this, we hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us entrance to Jannah from any of His 8 doors. There's one thing I didn't mention at the beginning. Maybe it was mentioned before. There are people who will enter Jannah and they won't have to do any accounting, any questioning, no difficult questions, no heat, nothing. Straight pass, VIP pass to paradise. The Prophet ﷺ told us there will be 70,000 people on the Day of Judgment. They will enter paradise with no punishment and with no questioning. He said, who are these people, O Prophet of Allah? The Prophet ﷺ, in summary, he said, they are the people who trust Allah the most. هُمُ الَّذِينَ لَا يَسْتَرْقُونَ. People who don't ask others for ruqyah. They recite for healing on themselves. وَلَا يَتَطَيَّرُونَ وَلَا يَكْتَوُونَ وَعَلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. People who trust Allah. When we aim for paradise, we should aim for the penthouse of paradise, Jannatul Firdaus. And when we aim for paradise, we should aim to be entered with no questioning, no difficulty. And in order to do that, we should become people who trust Allah, who rely upon Him, who sweat but leave the results upon Allah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who enter paradise. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who stay in paradise. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to gather us on the day He gathers the prophets and the messengers. We ask Allah to upgrade us to business class, to the premium part of paradise. مع النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا وصل اللهم